Did you start filming?
No, not yet. It's already on.
You lied.
It's still pretty dirty. I don't want to say between two mothers all the times.
Yeah, that's gross.
That's what I was saying, Sneak.
We didn't outline this at all like we said we were.
It's okay.
Okay.
What's up?
That's a really good outro. I think my phone's gonna die at some point during this.
Should we plug it in?
It can't be.
Okay, so before the phone died.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
He said 2 seconds.
Okay, so to start us off, Lexi here got us 2 Fiddle Leaf Figs, and she gave one to me, and she kept one for herself, and we were going to give each other updates about how these plants were doing. Honestly, I've killed one Fiddle Leaf Fig before, and it didn't go too well, so I didn't know how this is gonna do. So, have you had a Fiddle Leaf Fig before?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And actually, do you know why they're called Fiddle Leaf Figs? Is it because they're...
Honestly, I have, after my first one died, I was like, this is not the plant for me. It did not thrive, it died, and I'm not gonna have them anymore. And then you brought these into into our life.
Yeah.
And it's still alive, amazingly. Now, we don't live in the same house, so I'll have to show you pictures of mine, but it is still doing well. So we've done our research.
Ish.
Kind of.
Very vaguely.
But it is enough to show that we're able to keep them alive.
Yeah, so okay, both of the Fiddle Leaf Figs were on clearance at Home Depot, I think, for $9 each. And they came with 2 stalks. Hers actually, I believe, had 3 kind of inside the pot. So they came with a bunch of brown spots on them, so they're not looking, I mean, they don't look excellent, and Fiddle Leaf Figs are really hard to keep in like excellent shape. But they're not getting any worse. So I feel like that means we're doing something right.
Right, well, as you can see, these have some torn up leaves. Obviously, Lexi didn't do this. And then she was actually doing some research and let me know that on the underside of the leaves, we'll take a picture of this and include it in a photo, that when you get the little reddish brown spots at the bottom, that's actually the edema and you're overwatering them.
So essentially what happens is when you water the plant too much, the plant still soaks it up and the cells burst because they soak up too much water. So that's the individual cells of inside the leaf bursting open and dying. So, I mean, too much would kill an entire leaf, and I think that is probably the downfall of some people's Fiddle Leaf Fig. Also, I was super nervous to move this one here because they are notorious for you move it in a different spot in your house and it just dies. It doesn't like the new sunlight, it goes into shock. I think it's the sun, it's the lighting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just not happy and it basically just kills over. So it's been here for I think a week and a half now and it hasn't gone into shock. So I'm crossing my fingers, I think it's okay. It's like the last plant I moved because I was so nervous to move it over here.
And then, so Lexi actually took some pictures of my Fiddle Leaf Fig today, and there are new leaves on it, but we actually both noticed that there was the edema at the bottom on the new leaves, because I've been paying so much attention to it. I'm like, my plant cannot die before Lexi's. So I've been watering it more than usual, and I haven't been neglecting it like I usually do.
That's really funny, because we totally switched on this one, and I've watered this Fiddle Leaf Fig once since I've gotten it. And usually you're the one who waters.
And so I've watered it 3 or 4 times since I've gotten it, and I'm like, I mean, it's well-drained soil, it's fine, and now my leaves are popping up and they have the red spots on them, and I'm like, this is it. Yeah. It's gonna die. So I need to hold back now, and I told her earlier, I was like, if you water your plant, you need to text me and tell me when you're watering, because obviously you're doing something right. So.
But mine doesn't have new leaves like hers does. I mean, it has, I'll show you guys a picture. It has a very little new growth sprout on it. So it is growing, but it doesn't have, yours has like 3 new leaves on it.
It's very close to the grow light. So we each have the same grow lights, but mine is directly right on top of it.
Yeah.
And I do like a quarter of a rotation. I'm telling you, this is like the most well cared for plant in my family. A quarter of a rotation every time I think about my plants, watering this sucker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've been rotating him a lot too, especially because this side is bare. I think when he was grown in a nursery, he was up against something and couldn't grow leaves on this side. So he's all leaning towards Lauren, and yeah, I just try to rotate him to try to promote new growth.
Well, you can also notch him. I was reading about notching to get growth coming out, but especially since you just moved him, you probably wouldn't want to do that yet.
What is notching?
So notching is actually when you go between the nodes of the stems, and you take a sharp knife and you actually cut between the nodes just until the sap comes out. And then that's where a new part of, a stem will start to branch out. So that's how you get that bushier look to your Fiddle Leaf Fig. So if he is very tall and he's not really bushing out like you want him to, you just start notching him. If he's getting too tall, then you can just deadhead him and snap the tops off, or the buds at the top, and that's how you get them to grow up and bush as well.
Which someone definitely did that to ours. Both of the bigger ones have a cutoff and calloused over at the top, which new growth is starting to come through it, but it was definitely a long process on that, waiting for that to come through. But yeah, his leaves otherwise look good. I'm super excited to see if he actually survives.
So anyway, we went to a plant swap today, and we got 3 different plants. Lexi and I got 2 of the same plants, and then she got this one as her third, and I got, what was my third? A different one.
Persian Shield.
That's right, okay. And then, so for our second one, we got this oxalis.
Yeah, he doesn't really fit in this pot. I literally just threw him in here so he wouldn't tip over.
What did we say was the kind of oxalis he is? Plum.
Crazy plum?
Plum crazy, or
plum crazy.
Plum rush.
Something like that. But he's not open right now, which worries me, because it's daytime.
It's fine.
But
it's been cold.
That is.
They're not the best colors on these plants. They were giving them away for free because it's the end of the season. But that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then we also got a Joseph's coat.
Yes, I have him somewhere. Actually, I think he's in the other room.
But that was actually a plant on my wish list, and it had been on my wish list for a really long time. And she read the tag off, and I immediately parked up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this plant. Again, these aren't in the best shape. They need a little bit of TLC, but the pink variegation on these leaves is what I've been looking for a very long time. Both black plants and any plant with pink in them, love them. So we each took a plant of the Joseph's coat.
In the oxalis.
And we're gonna try and bring those through winter time. I think this was an annual, it said, but it could be kept outside through zones 9, but it can be overwintered if it's something like colder outside. So we're gonna put it under our grow lights and then maybe bring it back outside next year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully it's a little bit fuller, more pink.
I feel like he's a bush type, and I have no experience with that, so
yeah,
we'll really see how it goes.
I feel like they're also pretty tall and lanky.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of new growth up here on both of ours, so I'm gonna see how they can propagate. I'm not sure how they can, but if they can propagate it, I'm probably gonna cut mine off and see if I can stick it back in.
I was gonna say stick it back in and try to make it a little bit bushier.
But if anyone has any tips for these, I've never owned them, I just love the way they look. Feel free to leave something in the comments and give us some tips, because
sure,
I have no idea how to take care of them.
And if anyone knows any other tips besides neem oil and hydrogen peroxide for mealybugs, that'd be great. I mean, I think I eradicated it, but if anything pops up in the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely gonna need any help you guys can give us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Our Fiddle Leaf Fig is, we'll update more on. We'll throw in an old picture of it when we first got them. I mean, mine looks exactly the same.
I feel like both of ours kind of look exactly the same. They are really growing from the top. I think Lexi took some pictures of the tops in both of them. So we'll throw those in there. We have one very short video from the plant swap, and it's just like plants laid out, and we'll put that in there. But that's, I think, all we have for you today. Subscribe or die.
Subscribe or die.
I still can't believe you found the Joseph coat. I'm stoked about that.
This one?
Yeah. I mean, they're a little rough for the wear, but I think we'll be able to do all right with it.
They're very pretty. I love their pink leaves.